I love travel. I mean, I absolutely love it. Other than my family, it's my favorite thing to do, and the best, traveling with my family, going somewhere. And it goes to follow. I mean, early in my adult life, I was in the travel agency business, had a chain of travel agencies. I have always loved travel and special emphasis on going wherever the deal is. And it's how I decide where to travel. The trips I take are because, oh, there's a bargain there. And I go, and then I figure out what I'm going to do there or why I would go there. Well, when you travel, something that has gotten much easier over the years and then recently become more complicated again is how you pay for things. I mean, think back to before the euro, and if you went to Europe, every time you crossed a border, you had to change your money again. Nobody took credit cards. Credit cards were almost non-existent. Europe adopted credit cards much later than we did in the United States. Asia even later yet. And so you'd cross from, let's say, France to Germany. You would have already paid an ugly exchange rate to exchange dollars for French francs. Then you get to the German border, you'd have to exchange the French francs for German marks, Deutsche marks, and then you were paying another exchange rate and on and on and on. So your dollar just didn't go very far as you went through continually having to pay the rip-off exchange rates and carry around these currencies. Well, obviously, roll forward, now you can use credit cards almost anywhere you go in the world. And Europe credit cards, if anything, paying with plastic or paying with a phone, even more the way it's done than in the United States. It's just what you do. So the banks love to make money. So they have come up with ways to rip you off when you travel outside the United States and you're paying with a card. So a couple of things you need to know is first, you need to, if you don't have one yet, if you are going to travel internationally, you need a card that does not rip you off with foreign currency transaction fees. This is an idiotic junk fee that a lot of banks use as an unethical way to steal your money. So you use your card in a foreign country, and they charge you a junk fee of 3, 4, or 5% just for using your card. It is unbelievable. And it is dishonest, crooked, dirty. But there are plenty of cards now that don't charge foreign currency transaction fees. And you just got to look for one because they are so readily available. Next thing. So there you got this card. There's no foreign currency junk fee. And you go somewhere to buy something. Okay. Now this is diabolical. The banks have programmed now the terminals all over the world where they override the currency of the country you're in, and whatever currency of the country you're from, it pops up on the terminal, whether you're paying with Apple Pay, GPay, paying with a tap to pay with a credit card, you insert it with the chip, whatever. Okay, so what they're doing is, let's say you're in Italy, and your meal that you had that you can't believe the food was that great, and the meal for two was 22 euro, including wine, and you just can't believe it, how great the food was and what a deal. And you go to pay, and instead of having 22 euro, it's going to pop up in dollars. You'll be like, wow. And they automatically will pop up in dollars. And if you just take the bait and sign for that, or whatever you have to do, sometimes in Europe, often you don't have to sign, What happens is you're then charged typically a 7 to 10% junk fee for having had them do a courtesy conversion of your purchase from euro to dollars. It is an unbelievable new way to steal your money by the world's banking industry. Unbelievable. Where are the ethics? Where's the decency? Where's the honesty? It's not in the bank. So what you need to do is when you go to tap to pay or whatever you do, there will be a thing where you say no, usually option 2, that you want it cleared in local currency. And you want to do that because otherwise your trip is going to cost you 7 to 10% more than you thought it would. Hotels, when you go to pay for your hotel room, same thing will happen and the stakes are higher for the hotel room. And we have a list at Clark.com of our favorite no foreign currency transaction fee cards. But you get one of those, it's still not going to protect you if you don't protect yourself at the rip-off payment terminal. Want to make it clear. It's not the restaurant, it's not the hotel, it's not the store you're shopping at that's trying to steal your money. It's the bank they use for processing that is charging you the rip-off additional amount for paying for your item. And it shouldn't be. Okay.
I have a fun way to remember it. Can I just say? Sorry
Sure.
to interrupt. If you pay in dollars, your wallet's going to holler.
Oh, I like that.
Just because sometimes I forget.
So you got good rhyming there and all that. You made it nice and simple. I ran my mouth all that time, and all we had to do was have you say,
if you pay in dollars, your wallet's going to holler.
And one other thing for people who spend extensive time traveling around the world, I've talked about Revolut before, and there are competitors of it. These are payment cards that are free to have that allow you to use them in local currency in most countries around the world. And it's a really good deal. It's also these services like Revolut allow you to send money ultra cheap to a relative or friend overseas without paying the massive money changing fees that are so often charged when you wire money or send money to someone outside the United States.